Life and death and cats. We have dreams for our lives, goals, bucket lists, agendas, and plans. Sometimes they work out. Sometimes they change. The nimble among us always seem to come through with ease, adjusting where necessary, reevaluating if necessary. I'm old enough to know how delicate everything is, and still young enough to be surprised and delighted in the turnings. Life is good. Death, on the other hand, is not as good. At least the moment just before and maybe the moment of. I've been thinking of my own mortality lately. I notice that as I get older, I'm thinking about it more. And probably as I get even closer, I'll think of it less. Most of my life, I've had the knowledge that I would die at the talons and teeth of a large cat, as I've written before. It may have started very early on when I read a report of an anthropological find. A skull had been found in an excavated rocky crevice. The skull had two remarkably consistent, perfectly circular holes in the eye sockets. Perhaps some ceremony after death that would allow the spirit to be able to see out of the skull. It sounded like a reasonable idea, except that it's not been documented in any culture. So we were left with a mystery, two perfect holes. Sometime later, a biologist was studying the hunting habits of lions and leopards, and etc., and it was noted that when a cat killed a larger animal, that it would get a strong purchase in the body in order to drag it to a favorite eating perch. Dragging by any other part of the body usually caused entanglement and too much delay. Much like political philosophy today, if you grab their heads, their bodies will follow. Indeed, the biologist noticed that some of the cats had approached the kill from behind the head, sunk their upper incisors into the eye sockets and the lower fangs into the soft tissue of the neck, and off they would trot, dragging the rest of the body between their legs. This astounding news reached the anthropologist, and they began measuring the holes and the distance and size to known large cats of the time, and there was a perfect match found. This human had been seized by the cat, dragged for some distance, and eaten at leisure. Now, it's possible that the cat did not cause the death, but I doubt it. Cats are generally not scavengers, so the conclusion is a rather horrible scenario had taken place. I recall the story of two hunters out of ammo, trying to outrun a lion. One says that he doubts that they can actually outrun the lion, but the other responds, he doesn't have to. I just have to outrun you. So, sometimes you hear something, or pick up a tool, or have a new experience, and you just know that you've done this before, or that you have an immediate comfort with the situation, and somehow, death at the talons of a large cat is very comfortable to me. Now that sounds just wrong, but it is what I felt, and I continue to feel. The reality of diabetes and heart attacks and cancer and traffic accidents are far more likely, but it does nothing to remove this feeling. So naturally, I'm very careful around large cats. I don't own a lion or a pet tiger, and I don't visit friends that do. None so far. I'm on an ultra alert when visiting zoos or animal parks. I'm very aware of the Oakland Zoo Sky Ride that takes the cable ride right over the tiger cages. It's a testimony for the love of my children that I've taken that ride as often as I have. So what, you might say? I don't live in a Bengali jungle. The African savanna is pretty far away. The likelihood of a large cat suddenly appearing in my life is quite small. Or is it? While one of my children was attending the local elementary school, a sign was posted that a mountain lion was seen prowling the baseball field. Since that time, there has been at least a dozen sightings in and around the open areas. My own house has at least 100 acres of woods on the other side of my back fence. And then there's the deer population. I have several deer a day walking through my yard down to the creek. I'm overwhelmed with large cat food. I regularly ride a paved railroad right-of-way that goes, well, at least 7 miles in either direction from my house. My accessibility to tooth and claw is suddenly a great deal larger than I first thought. And then I think about all my time in the Sierra Nevada. Certainly I was seen and probably stalked, but I've never seen them, proving that they are sneaky and very good. All I can do is to stay alert, answer the door with careful notice of tooth and claw, and to wear a mask on the back of my head while walking in the woods. Cats like to sneak up on you when you're not looking. Fortunately, they're stupid enough to be fooled by masks. The only other thing is to watch how much I feed my house cat. You might laugh, but if you're diligent enough, you can catch a certain look that all cats have. They will generally see you as food givers, winding their ways between your legs and purring excitement. But might they also be trying to trip you, causing a head injury, and then you will realize you are looking at you as food? How often have you heard pet cats dragging owners from burning buildings? I love my cats, but I have no illusion. Size matters.